NFC Passport to North America 2026, Ep.2 at the Copa America. Shout out to Barry Manilow. We love your music, but anyhow, we're really excited to be here. There's a lot of updates. We have a really great show for you. I'm going to turn it over to Rick Lamanna to share some of those updates that we have going on.
Thanks, Jake. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a minute. We do have some updates, and I think those updates are pertinent to our two-part episode coming up about the Copa America. We have all 16 participants have been confirmed through qualifying. Canada has confirmed its place in the tournament by beating Trinidad and Tobago. The tournament, for those of you who don't know, is 16 teams this year, 10 from CONMEBOL, which is South America, 6 other entrants from CONCACAF, which is our region, the United States, Mexico, Canada, Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Panama. So those are our entrants to the tournament. We've all been qualified. Tournament starts June 20th, and it's Canada versus Argentina in the opening match. So I
Good
will let
luck.
you two speak.
Good luck, Rick. Good luck.
Good
I
luck
mean,
indeed.
who's this Messi guy think he is?
Yeah.
World Cup defending World Cup champions.
Messi, eh?
In what is yeah, is what is likely to be a very pro Argentina crowd. So the tournament kicks off June 20th, and it's expected to be really exciting. Only the second time the U.S. has hosted it, and I know excitement is building for this tournament on this side of the pond. Of course, Euros are happening across the Atlantic, but for us, this is a big one. I'll pass over to Sergio if you want to add anything from the Mexican side. You guys look to be in a pretty, I won't call it easy, but in a, let's say, an advantageous group.
Let's go with that, Rick, and sure thing. Thank you, Rick and Jake. Very nice being here again, the three amigos back together. And yes, so this 48th edition of the Copa America, I think we have very interesting groups. As you stated, Rick, Canada and Argentina, together with Peru and Chile. You can never underestimate Chile. It's always a great team to go against with it. And of course, Jake, you're not safe at all. I think Uruguay, it's a great team. It has great players, but Panama and Bolivia might make it a little bit easier. Not a very complicated pass through. Mexico Group B, we're together with Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica. So I think Mexico is going to pass to the next stage, but I don't like to get my hopes high. As you know, Jake's team, the U.S., just imposed themselves 2-0 over Mexico on the last game. So I think we might get better on this tournament. I hope so, but you never know. And finally, on Group D, Brazil, the pentacampeón, with Colombia, Paraguay, and Costa Rica. Of course, Costa Rica being the home country of one of our honored guests today. So overall, I think it's going to be very interesting, and I will like to get back to Jake.
Thanks, Sergio. So, not to rub it in, but 2-0, 2-0. It's a great rivalry. It's a great rivalry. But no, I agree. I think the U.S. has they should go through the first group stage. But Uruguay's really great. They got a great forward in Darwin Nunez. He's a Liverpool guy. Really great talent. They don't. We're just not producing talent like that yet. We have, I know, Rick, he's your favorite for the Milan side. We have Mr. Captain Pulisic. We're excited about him. Big loss with Sergio Dest, unfortunately going down with that ACL injury. He's going to be missed. But we have Weston McKennie flying around playing the best football of his life. So I'm really excited with the European talent that we have. We have a lot of guys playing overseas. It looks good. And this is going to be a really important tournament. This tune-up to the World Cup, to the FIFA Club World Cup next year, and then the World Cup in 2026. I think this is a huge test in our infrastructure and our ability to ensure that people are coming across the border. They're here, they're traveling, not just the players, not just the managers, not just the personnel, but the fans that want to be here, that want to make the game the great game that it is. So I'm really excited about the show we have here. Sergio, I'd like you to go ahead and introduce the guests that we have. Why don't you do that?
Sure thing, Jake. And I'm super excited about this. Our first guest is Leonor Echeverria, managing partner of our Fragomen Costa Rica office. Her experience is deeply rooted in international law and diplomacy, but she's also a great sports fan. She knows a lot about soccer, and we also have, of course, Monserrat Jiménez, and she's the legal director of CONMEBOL. And I'm just very, very excited to see how can she leaves us at awe with all the information and the insights and all these small tips that she might have. So let's go ahead with our guest, Jakes, if that's okay with you and with you, Rick.
It's totally okay with me. I'm super excited about this. Let's go ahead and join them. Thank you for joining. We're very excited to introduce Leonor Echeverria, regional partner in Fragomen's Costa Rica office. Leonor, thank you so much for joining the show. Could you tell us a bit about yourself, about your role in the firm, about how sports shape your practice, and what you do in the firm as well?
Yes, thank you, Jake. I'm so appreciative of this opportunity. I think that for me, working at the firm is so wonderful because get the opportunity to work with people from different countries, different nationalities. So this is so exciting, and also I'm a passionate for football. So I'm really excited to be part of this podcast. And my role includes overseeing the region, Latin America and the Caribbean. I can proudly say that I'm an expert in corporate immigration matters in Latin America and the Caribbean. Probably one of the few. I've been for many years working on this. So I started more of a manager and builder, opening all the different practices of Fragomen in Latin America. That we started with Costa Rica. I'm from Costa Rica, and then we moved on to Brazil and Mexico, and Chile, Colombia, Argentina, Peru, Panama, Guatemala, Ecuador, Uruguay. So we have 13 locations, and I worked on those opening of those offices and working with all those teams, which was incredible opportunity. And now I'm working a lot in terms of working on business development or business development, opening opportunities for the firm. So since the firm Fragomen has this type of industry groups like this one about, in this case, sports and soccer. Since I'm a big fan, I wanted to join. So we have clients, different teams in different countries. We have also federations as clients. So we're always eager to help. What could be worse than missing a game because you don't have the right visa or you have a problem with your passport? So that's what we're doing. We're helping people, go and enjoy this wonderful sport.
Yeah, and it happens more often than you think that someone just misses a game because their visa is not in line or they're using the wrong passport. So, Leonor, we know you're a big fan. We see your PSG jersey. We see that you're a Keylor Navas fan. He's a Costa Rican. He's one of the greatest goalkeepers that ever played the game.
Go Kaler.
So why don't you introduce us to your special guest? So we know we're very fortunate to have a very special guest joining us on the show today.
I know. I think that a lot of lawyers are very envious of Monserrat because she's the legal director for CONMEBOL, which is the South America Federation of Football, and she's been in that position for a number of years. So I'm very sure that her job is quite much more fun than ours. That's definite. So we're all about, we're very excited for this opportunity to have you here. We're very, very thankful that you decided to accept our invitation. And I think everyone in the audience is eager to learn a bit more about your role and what's happening. And obviously now we're excited about the Copa America. So welcome, Monserrat. And do you want to tell us, can you share a bit about your background and what you do in your role?
Hello, it's a real pleasure being with you all, Rick, Sergio, Jake, and Leonor. I'm very happy. Of course, when I was invited, I accepted right away. It was a little bit difficult to coordinate agendas, but well, finally here we are. And yes, I'm legal director for CONMEBOL, also deputy secretary general, and now I'm also responsible for sustainability. So it's a lot going around in my department, and I'm the responsible for all the contracts and all the permits and everything that has to do with legal on Copa America, and of course all of our 33 tournaments going around every year. So I'm ready to answer all the questions you have for me.
We're thrilled to have you here, Montserrat. And the first question that I would like to make to you is, how does CONMEBOL work with other football confederations and international bodies like FIFA, all of this? What's the connection between you? How good you get along?
Well, as you know, FIFA, it's our mother. It's the biggest football federation. We are not a member per se, but of course we are recognized. We are six confederations recognized by FIFA. We are the ones representing South America. We have 10 member associations. So that's FIFA. We have a great relationship with the legal team, with Emilio and all his team. We have almost a daily conversation and all the things that are going around on football, not only commercial, but ambush, IP rights, data, and uh, artificial intelligence. That it's uh, the new baby and the new legal problems ahead that we are having with that. And then we have a very good relationship, especially with UEFA, that we signed a MOU 4 years, 5 years from now, and we have we have teams going to UEFA, teams coming back from UEFA, and we work a lot between all the teams from all the departments in CONMEBOL and UEFA, trying to share our experience and learn from each other. Also, of course, now we have a very good relationship with CONCACAF. We are doing the Copa America together, and those are the two confederations we work on a daily basis, and we have like all the time people sharing experience. Also, we have with the other confederations a little bit less. We also have some problems with the language because it's easy when we can speak English, but with Asia it's a little bit more complicated. With Africa, the same. But we have a very good relationship with all confederations, and we are going back and forth between our confederations, learning from each other all the time.
So I have a question. So we're here talking about the Copa America, obviously. Very excited that this tournament is being hosted in the U.S. for the second time. And so, how does that selection process work? So, for example, why is it in the U.S.? And you know, um, it's a U.S. federation, as we know. U.S. is part of CONCACAF. But are there any particular reasons why it's in the U.S. this time around? What does that process look like? What's the, who's involved in the process and all that sort of thing? If you can share any insight on that.
Okay, I will do a little bit of history, a little bit. You know that that the Copa America is the first tournament of national teams of the whole world. It was created in 1916, even before the World Cup. From there on, it was a rule that it was not written, but that each 4 years the Copa America went to the country with the alphabet. So it started in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, and that way. Then it started, Brazil had the World Cup, so it said, okay, I cannot do it. Can we go to Chile and then come back forth to Brazil? And that way it started the problems that we got lost in the alphabet in some way. And then the Copa America Centenario, when it was 100 years from the Copa America came, it was okay, what can we do? And they decided at that point to do it in the US. So um, it was planned for the US when we turned 100 years, and it was a success, not only in revenues, but only in broadcasting, in TV, in all the broadcast, sponsorship, etc., etc., etc. So there was always a conversation of coming back to the US, because also the countries from CONCACAF wanted to participate in the CONMEBOL Copa America in order to have this Copa from the whole Americas. Not just South America, but you, we were speaking out of cameras and we said, why did you invite Japan or Qatar or all these countries that
And no offense,
aren't
and
from?
no offense to those countries, of course.
No,
Yeah, we were
of
just
course,
wondering.
Yeah.
but they are not part of South America. And that was because we are only 10 countries and we need at least 12 in order to have a good tournament. So we invited other countries from our confederations in order to participate. So this time we said, okay, let's do it just America. So our 10 countries, and then we decided to do a Copa of 16 countries and six from CONCACAF. Then here we have two representatives of two countries that are participating.
Four.
Canada, four, all the four
Four,
are.
yeah,
All of us.
four of
We
us.
all qualified. We're all
I
in.
can I can only see Canada
Canada,
and
USA,
USA
Mexico,
USA.
and
And
Costa
Mexico.
Rica.
and Costa
I can
Rica.
see the flag there. Sorry.
Yeah,
So we have the
Rick was
four
sweating for a
countries.
little bit. I'm sorry,
We were
Rick was
close. We
sweating
were
for a little
close.
bit, but they
We were
made it.
close.
So this is not a good competition. I'm alone here. I'm the only one from CONMEBOL. So we decided to have this not six teams from CONCACAF. That the only condition was that they were qualified by sport merit. So we just had the six qualified for the Copa America, and hopefully we'll have a great Copa, and the cup will stay, of course, in South America. I'm sorry for you guys, but hopefully it will stay in the region and not going to the north.
Well, the first game of the tournament is Canada against Argentina. So I think be prepared. Be prepared for a big upset because who's this Leo Messi guy?
No one knows him.
No, who's he?
Yeah, of course. So that was very interesting, Monserrat. Thank you very much for sharing. And so, our next question would be like, one, you have selected the host location for the Copa America, like in this case, the United States. What happens next? What are the most important steps toward ensuring that everything goes smoothly?
Well, I forgot to tell you something. The Consejo, our executive committee, is the one deciding where the Copa is being played, right? So in this case, it was a decision from the Exco, and then of course we went and we signed an MOU with CONCACAF, where we stated all the benefits and all the things that should be done between both confederations, because we are from the same continent, but we are very different in many things. So we should put everything on paper in order to make this go in the smooth and in a good way to take the Copa America. Well, the countries decided, and there you have like 50 people traveling to that country in order to decide about stadium first, then hotels, then the training camps are the three first things that are to be decided. For the Copa America Centenario, for this Copa America, we had more than 74 stadiums that wanted to host the Copa America. So we started this bidding process where we had to analyze each stadium, we had to analyze all the commercial conditions. The US, it's very different in what we have in South America, because the commercial, all the stadiums, they have an owner, they have all these commercial contracts that cannot be broken. So you have in one same stadium Coca-Cola, and the other is the other one, or you have Puma and the other one, and this is not common in South America. So we had many contracts that we already had signed for more than one Copa America, that we had to restudy and to reconnect with our sponsors in order to tell them, okay, in the stadium we'll have these two sponsors, or you will be a sponsor, but you have the commercial presence of the other. So we come to the stadiums, we discuss, um, we see everything that has to do with taxes, with migration. We see everything that has to do with logistics. And then we come back and we start doing this puzzle. And there's where the legal team comes and starts seeing what are the obligations we have. And in the States, this, believe me, it's a big thing, because in each state we have different laws, we have different things going around, and then we have the federal law. So each state, it's different contracts, and this is something that was very difficult to do in the States, because we have 14 stadiums, 14 different contracts, 10 different laws because we are in 10 states. So we also go and speak with the, I don't know how you call them, the governor, it's this way, and also with the city major in order to work with them, with the police, with the and all the security forces, because of course it's a very important uh, event that the security is number one for all of us in order to have this big party going around.
Yeah, I can only imagine how much collaboration has to happen between not just the confederations, but each state in the United States, each country in South America, and the CONCACAF region. Wow, that's a lot going on. And, I think also part of having it here in the United States is exciting because we have such a rich history of immigration, and I think a lot of the places where you see these games that are being held in Texas and in Florida, in California. We do have a lot of immigrants from Central and South America, which it just makes it that much more exciting to have fans that have this rich history and background that they can reach to when they're cheering on teams for the Copa America.
This was really taken into account when we decided in which states we were playing. Of course, it was analyzed where we had a lot of immigration from our countries, because the point is that they can have the opportunity to see their national teams, and they can really, you can really feel that we think that is the difference that we have in South America, that is the passion that you live in each one of our football tournaments.
I wanted to ask you a question that is about women's soccer or football, sorry. Because I have noticed, I'm from Costa Rica, so before, when I was in high school, it wasn't that common for girls to play soccer, at least not in Costa Rica, but now it's
I
very
don't know what soccer is. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Leonor. I made that episode. I made that mistake on episode one, so we just got to get used to saying football.
Excuse me. Okay, so my daughter loves playing. Both of my daughters, they love football, and it's incredible now that you go and to the training places they go, and it's so many women. It's a sport that it'll gain more audience because women are into it. The younger generations are definitely more into it, in my opinion. That's what I see. So I was wondering how is CONMEBOL supporting women's football?
So for CONMEBOL, it's women's football is one of our priorities. From 8 years from now, we had like 800% of more women playing football. We are just now having more competitions. We are really promoting the under 15, under 16, under 18 women's tournaments. We have Copa America for women each 2 years, not each 4 years, in order to promote women's football. And we are not only promoting women playing football, but also women in all the areas of football. We say women in sports, in football industry. So we are not only promoting women playing football, but women being referees, women being delegates, officials. Of course, in CONMEBOL, we are more or less 50% women and men. And not because we have a quota or something, it's because we choose the people for their capacity. And of course, we have many capable women. So we have a lot of women. And I can tell you something. We were having a meeting between two confederations. I won't say which one. And in the table, we were like CONMEBOL and the other confederation. And at one point, the other confederation said, "Time out. Let's stop the meeting." What? And we were like, "What happened?" And they were like, "Why are you two women and two men sitting on the table and we are only four men? Is this a quota thing?" And we never realized, we are so used to having women and men discussing about football, and we looked at each other and said, "No, we are here because we are the ones that should be here, not because we are women or men." So 10 minutes later they had a woman coming to sit down on their table because, and I said, no, no, this is not the way of doing it. The once she's seated there, she cannot never leave the table. She should be part of the decision making of the confederation. And I always tell this because for us it's really normal having women in all the in the discussions and in the table, and this is the same thing we want to do on the football court. So we are investing a lot of money. We are giving more money in prices also for women, and we are putting all the tournaments on TV on prime time with the same level of service that we are doing with men, because this is the only way of selling women's football and making it sustainable in order to reach the men in the and we are investing a lot also because in if you compare it with the level of the other confederations, we are way backwards because for many years we had zero investment in women's football. So now we are investing a lot, and hopefully in 4 or 5 years we'll have a South American world champions, or perhaps in the next World Cup that hopefully will be in Brazil.
That's right. Brazil's. I think U.S. and Mexico pulled out from the 2027 World Cup, Women's World Cup, in part because of the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 LA Olympics. It just maybe was too much. So good luck, good luck. Well, I mean, it's too bad. Marta was is the one I know the most. Obviously, she was Brazil's big hope on the women's side. So good luck, and it'd
We
be very interesting to watch. I mean, after all,
hopefully we'll
Canada
have
are
it.
the defending gold medalists. Just if we're gonna, talk about these things, so just a little bit. Just
Yes,
thought
the
I'd bring.
Canadians are really tough, and
Sure.
the US players also. So hopefully we will bring the World Cup to Brazil. That will be very, very important for the South American women's teams, because in order to promote, we need more competition. We need to promote it internally, and having a World Cup will put the women's football at the first level, and that will be very important. Hopefully,
Yeah.
this is being decided on May 17th. We are bidding against Europe, so let's see. We are only 10, Europe are 55, but we are confident we can make it.
Leno, I'm really happy you asked that question. I think it's such an important question, and I think you can talk about Monserrat. You were just saying, Canada and the U.S. historically have had really great women's football, teams. The U.S. has won the World Cup a number of times, but we're still today dealing with this huge gap in pay between women and men, and media rights, sponsorship. And I think that we are turning a corner with everything, especially with the National Women's Soccer League. We're seeing stadiums that are built just for women's soccer, football. And what's great is that you're seeing those stadiums; they're sold out every match. They're sold out. So I'm just really excited that there is this show for everyone to enjoy the sport. It's not just dominated for males. It's not just dominated for females. It is a sport that everyone should enjoy and everyone should really have fun with.
Women's football, I think it has a very good potential. When you speak about equal pay, that's something we can have a big conversation, because when we speak about equal pay, it's equal pay with whom? And this is a discussion I always have. Everyone thinks that all the players earn the same money as Messi, Neymar, or Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's not true. So when we speak about equal pay, we should first of all make it sustainable. I mean, the first thing we should reach is that all women have a payment while they play professional football. And that's not happening all around the world. So the first thing is we should all be paid, or the players. When I played basketball, the men had a salary and we didn't. And it was, I think it was the same in all sports. But now with all this movement and everything, we are getting to have professional players with contracts, with pay contracts, that they can really have a living with football. That's the first thing we should achieve. And then we should start moving forward in order to know which is the salary we want to get to. I always compare myself with the legal director of FIFA. And I say, okay, I should earn the same money as the legal director of FIFA because is a legal director and I am. But he has 211 member federations and I only have 10. And they have, I think they have a budget that it's like 10 times bigger than mine. So I cannot earn the same amount of money. And that's not because I'm a woman and he's a man. So this is a conversation that when we have it, we should really know where we are going. And perhaps this is not the politically correct answer, but I always try to make sure that what we would like to achieve is that we have the same rights, that we can get there. And from there on, we should make it sustainable. Because now all the payments, all the prices come from men's football. And they are really sharing what they are earning with women in order to promote women's football. And that's great. So we should keep on this track and we should keep getting bigger and bigger and being sustainable. In at least in South America, we still have leagues for women that are 1 month or 2 months. We don't have it all the year. Even Libertadores, we cannot have it all the year because there are many countries where the players are having just 1 or 2 months a contract and not all 1 year. So we should get there first, then equal salary, and then we should discuss equal salary with whom.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that as the sport grows and there's more audience, more women watching the women soccer or women football, that there's gonna be more money obviously for the sport, and then there's gonna be better salary increases and all that. But you notice it now. I mean, even like in my day, when I watch a game, I don't want to be with the women because they talk about other things. I want to be with the men that are talking about soccer, or they don't talk, or if they talk, it's about the game. So, but it's different with the little ones, with the girls now. They're obsessed about football, and that's all they will talk while they're watching the game. So I can already see it. I envision that the sport will for women will grow significantly.
And I think, Montserrat, you hit on that with the development of the under 16 and the under 15, and it's just so important. So really excited to see the way it's going. Hopefully we get there faster than we do slower. But the last question that we want to ask you here, and thank you again so much for joining us, is what is your favorite part of the role you have? What is, I'm sure it's stressful, I'm sure it's rewarding, but like what do you love the most about doing what you do?
Everything, because I don't have one day that is equal to the other. I mean, the problems are really different, and the adrenaline, I don't know if you say it that way in English, it's all the time changing, and I think I'm addicted to it. And really each game, each tournament have different problems, and solving them are the best thing. But what I like the most, it's what Leonor said, having the children come to the stadium and feel the passion. And you can see that we can change the kids' life with the power of football. And you can see it in their eyes. When they have this bright in their eyes when they see a ball, and they see hope. They see a hope for a better life. And I think that has nothing to do with legal, has nothing to do with, it has something to do with my mother's heart. When you see the kids, that what you do all day long, that you can be tired or anything, but when they see a ball and they have this light in their eyes, and you can change the world through a ball, that's the thing that makes me love what I do. And just have more and more time at the office in order to get things going around. And that's why I'm just doing sustainability now, because I really believe in the power of football to change lives and to take kids out of drugs and of the abuse they have in their houses through football. And we are really working on that, because we should start working on the power football has on our society in order to give back to a society what the fans give to football.
I love that. I got goosebumps when you were talking about that because I entirely agree. I mean, it's just the way that you see, a child look at a soccer ball or a football or a baseball, whatever sport it is. It's just excitement. There's nothing else. There's no pressure involved with it yet. I mean, the older you get, the more you play at a competitive level, it does become more pressure. There's money involved once you get to the professional level, but it's always nice to see the world through innocent eyes, through children's eyes, and to make a difference that way. It's just really great that's one of the directives of CONMEBOL, and that's what you're really focused on. Rick, I know you had some very important questions here that you like to
Oh,
ask at the end of our
I
episodes.
I was gonna say Jake did say that was the last question, but in fact we have one more.
Sorry, one more.
I'm just gonna pull this out here. Now we know we're talking about the Copa America, and I know Monserrat, you're probably not allowed to answer, so I won't ask you. I won't put you on the spot. I don't want to get anyone in any trouble. Leonor, I'll ask you. Who do you think is going to win the Copa America coming up this summer?
Oh, the Copa America.
Let's start with that. We have the World Cup here. I wasn't able to acquire a Copa America trophy yet in time for the broadcast. So I'll ask about the Copa America first, and then we'll shift to this lovely trophy here.
Unfortunately for us, Rick, I don't think it's gonna be either of our countries.
Well,
I won't
that's
concede that yet. I won't concede. I'm not willing to concede that yet. But fair enough. That's
I
probably the
think the
correct
odds,
answer.
yeah, the odds there that it won't be any of our countries is probably correct, but
I'm not gonna get in trouble for saying that. I'm
Yeah,
actually.
it's okay.
don't get our
But
hopes up.
but I'm hoping that Monserrat will be able to answer. Who's going to take this trophy home in 2026?
A
If
South
you're allowed.
American
If
team.
you're okay, fair, great answer. That's
okay.
such
A
a
South
that's such a
American team for sure.
perfect political answer. And to be expected, I guess. Leonor, who do you think is going to win the World Cup in 2026?
Well, I would say France.
It's
France.
your answer.
Oh,
That was
France.
the same
No,
Very
answer
no,
we
skilled
got.
no.
team.
The same answer we
Let,
got by one of our guests in the first
yeah,
episode. Very
yeah,
popular choice.
yeah. I
But Monserrat doesn't agree. Yeah. Also, South
Yeah.
American team. It's very likely,
Well,
Monserrat. I'm not
look,
gonna lie. Brazil and
historically,
Argentina have
let
more World
I,
Cup.
I will tell you something. During the Copa America, the Brazilian Copa America, where Argentina was the champion, when I saw Argentina play, I told my boss Argentina will be the next World Cup champion. Why? Because they were really having fun playing. They were a real team. You can see them that they were having a good time in court and out court. And that's very important. And I think France doesn't have this. And that was something you saw in the world in the final of Argentina France. I was just behind the French team. If you see the series, I'm just behind, and on the penalties we were just like uh,
we're gonna have to pull this
screaming
footage.
for Argentina, and all the French were like, what's happening here?
I think you raise a good point. In any tournament,
But
yeah,
the unity of the team is
yeah.
very important, and that
We
is something the
need
Argentinians
another reason to watch
understood.
that game again because it was so good. But I'm gonna watch it again because I want to see you there.
It's
And that,
interesting.
Just for that,
that's
it
the
was
reason.
one of the best finals
It's
ever.
this is what makes the World Cup so special is that it's not always the best collection of individuals, but the team that for that 4 to 6 week period comes together. Obviously, quality is important, and players win games, but it's really about the group. You can name any number of tournaments where the best team didn't win. The best team didn't even get to the final because it's not about a collection of individuals. It is truly about the
Yeah,
team unity
one
in their
hundred
It's a
team.
percent.
group effort.
It's
And
a team
so
sport. One person messes up their assignment. That's it. If that leads to the mistake that ends up with a goal, that could be the end of the series for you. So, um,
Yes.
No, and I will say, I mean, come on, it was nice to see Messi win a World Cup. I think everyone, even if you're a Ronaldo fan, kind of wanted to see that happen. So that was fun.
Of course, it
I'm
was,
not
and
sure.
not only Messi, also Di Maria, for example,
Yeah,
underestimated player,
yeah.
but great players, and of course Enzo and McAllister, very, very great team.
I'm
It,
not sure how
it
many
was just amazing.
Portuguese. I'm not sure how many Portuguese would agree with that. However, point taken for any neutrals. Listen, I just want to thank everyone, Monserrat, Leonor. What a great conversation, really. We learned a lot, and thank you so much for your time. I hope
Rick, if we can meet in Miami, I will give you Copa America. You cannot only have the World Cup there.
you know
So
what. You know what.
this is a
I'm going
promise.
to.
If we meet in Miami, I will give you a Copa America replica.
I might. You know
You
what.
get to touch the actual trophy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sorry it didn't. I did. I'm sorry it didn't come in time. But no, seriously, thank you to everyone. Jake, Sergio, of course, but Leonor and Montserrat, thank you very much for this conversation. I think we learned a lot, and I think it's a great benefit to our audience. So thank you again. And for those watching, we will have part 2 of our 2-part Copa America series coming up. But for now, thank you very much, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.